my recording here. So welcome to Mindful Flow this morning. In today's practice, we are going to be thinking of opening the body in a more holistic manner. So often we talk about opening the shoulders, the heart, we concentrate on the hips, even the hamstrings. We think about body groups because that's a very logical way to kind of check in with how we're feeling. And we know that those areas we can target with certain postures and movements, and it usually serves to bring about the desired result. But today I've been doing a lot of reading. About lines of energy and thinking about the body in a more holistic manner, thinking about the way we move energy through the body. And that got me to thinking about how we need to open the body in terms of the various sides. We are a three-dimensional solid mass, obviously made up of different body groups and different muscles and muscle groups. But today we're going to talk about opening the superficial front body, which is the line of interconnected muscles and tissue. Usually the fascia is what's considered the fascia that's connecting us from the front body all the way up, and the superficial back line, which is the back body. And then also, since we're three-dimensional, we're not just a two-dimensional flat piece of paper. We're going to think about the side and the lateral opening as well. So it's just a little different mindset as we're going through the practice and thinking about the body more from a whole three-dimensional type of subject. So I wanted to read you a little bit about fascia, because fascia is the substance. It is the amazing part of our body that sort of holds us all together. It not only connects every single piece of our body one to the other, but it also provides stability for the body in all of those areas. So it's connecting, it's providing stability, and it's also providing movement. So it's kind of a magical type of tissue in terms of allowing us to move smoothly from motion to motion, allowing muscles to move smoothly over each other, but it also provides this interconnected web of stability. So I just wanted to read you a little bit about fascia so you had something in your mind to think about as we're talking about opening these more full areas of the body today. So fascia is a type of connective tissue. It has a broad range of functions, including linking nearby tissues, supporting organs, reducing friction that comes with muscular force, forming compartments that enclose groups of muscles and other structures, separating tissues, investing the tissues, and adding strength and resilience, creating functional chains of muscles that allow us to move more smoothly and efficiently, and much, much more. The tissue also contains important immune cells, protective adipose cells, myrofibroblasts, that's a long word, that assist tissue healing, and a complex communication system to help oversee it all. Another important feature of fascia is that it is a continuous intermesh system of fibrous tissue that weaves throughout the body from head to toe. This interconnected system can be the reason that your pain in one area may be influenced by changes in another part of your body. It's also a big part of how we adapt and respond to stress via body-wide tension distributing systems. Each year, half the fascia fibrils, that is the collagen, are replaced in a healthy body, providing us with a powerful intervention point to steer these changes in the tissue at any time. So just a little background on fascia. And another way to think about fascia throughout the body is as if you were wrapped in a big wrapper of cellophane. So you think about cellophane and how it has the ability to kind of slide around itself, but it definitely holds us all in place like we're wrapped up. And it's not just one piece, obviously. There's different levels of fascia throughout the body. But today, again, we're going to be looking at opening the full front body, the full back body, and also the side to side stretches as well. So go ahead, and we're going to start in a lying down position and bringing our awareness to what we're going to focus on today. I want you to, I asked you to bring a blanket. So if you would, before you lay all the way down, take that blanket and just roll it up into a nice little blanket roll. And I want you to bring that underneath your hips, just enough so that it creates a soft rise in the hips right underneath the sacral area. And we're going to lift the hips from this point, because what I would like you to do in your first couple of minutes here as we are relaxing down and grounding is to help the front part of your body start to feel a little bit more open. And we're doing that by offering a nice little sweet, subtle stretch to the psoas, the hip flexors in the front. So make sure that your hips feel somewhat relaxed. If you like, you can bring your arms wherever they're comfortable. You may want to bring them over your head if that's comfortable for you, since we're going to be really stretching the body from head to toe. And then I'm going to stop talking quite so much here for just a minute or two and just allow yourself to come into a nice, relaxing stillness. Remembering that the breath is the key throughout your practice to help guide you, to find your ease, and to help you develop a healthy relationship between movement and sensation. See if you can breathe into your hips and especially the pelvic region as you're bringing that little extra stretch into the psoas. Relax your shoulders. And then in this first minute or two, become aware of the connection of your body from the very top of your forehead all the way down to the front part and the tops of your feet. All the areas that are exposed to the air above, that are not touching the mat. And just think about this as one unit, one part opening and relaxing and releasing. Let your breath deepen. Let your mind fall into a pattern of ease and calm. We'll stay here for about a minute. one more deep breath in. As you do, perhaps point your toes, really stretch your arms out up overhead, lengthen, open your front body. Take a deeper breath in, expand your front body as far as you can, and then exhale, soften it down. Bring your hands back down, bend your knees. Let's lift the hips up off of the mat. Push the blanket off to the left side and just push it off to the side of the mat. With your hands by your hips, let's counter that little stretch by taking a slight pelvic tilt, inhaling and lifting the pubic bone up to the ceiling. Hold it there in that tilt, little stretch for the lower tailbone. And then release it down. All right, from here, we're going to hold and bring the knees into the chest. Allow your head to raise. Bring your forehead to your knees. And then go ahead and rock. We're going to come on up. And we're actually going to go directly into a standing position. So, from this seated position, let's go ahead and come to our feet. Just help yourself up any way that is logical. And come to stand in Tadasana. So, we're going to think about, first just come to a nice neutral Tadasana stance. Feet are hip distance apart. Root those feet down. Feel the connection between the arch of your foot and the mat. And then see if you can lift up through the arches of your feet. Feeling the four corners of your feet now surrounding the arches act like suction cups on the mat. You're going to feel that energy come up through the legs as the legs become engaged. And then draw that energy up through the shoulders. Once it reaches your shoulders and your heart slightly comes forward, allow the shoulders to soften and reach down. Fingers are reaching down. Crown of the head is lifting up. Very active, sturdy mountain pose, just like a beautiful mountain in the distance. Close your eyes, take a breath in, and release. All right, just relax everything down. So we're going to talk about this superficial front line and the superficial back line of the body. The superficial front line of the body begins at the tops of the feet, and it connects up through the fronts of the ankles, comes up through the shins, really comes into the core as this connection of muscle and fascia connects in the middle of your core, lifts up, and then comes right up into the base of the neck, just underneath your jaw. So when you think about opening the front part of your body, if you take a nice neutral stance, then you're not really feeling much of an expansion. But if you begin to lift up through the upper body, maybe even draw your arms up to encourage that energy flow to reach upward toward the sky, and then start to aim back into, could be a very slight back bend, it doesn't have to be far, but your chin and neck are open and tilted back. And then really stop here and feel what's happening from the tops of your feet all the way up to your fingertips. Take 3 breaths here and just bring your awareness to this opening in the front body. There's 1, 2, 1 more, 3. Keep reaching and opening. Opening, maybe stretching back, and then bring it forward. Bring your hands down. All right, so thinking about the entire unit of the front body as one, we're opening that superficial front line. Now, from the back body perspective, we're going to go ahead and lift the arms up again just so that we help ourselves come down. We're going to come down into a forward folding position. Go really slowly. As you come down, reach wherever it feels appropriate for you to reach. You can bring your hands to blocks if you're a little bit stiff. Soften your knees if the knees need to be softened. And just let your head hang down really, really limply and on its own. Now your superficial back line begins at the plantar fascia of the foot. So really the arch of the foot, just behind the ball of the foot, and reaching up under the arch of the foot, wraps around the back of the heel, comes up through the calves, the hamstrings, comes over the back, and then over the crown of the head to the base of the forehead. So take 3 more breaths here and just think about the entire back body starting from your feet all the way around to your forehead. 2 more breaths. One more. All right, slowly begin to rise back up. Just gently lift yourself back up and come to a neutral position. So back body opening, again, starts with the base of your feet, wraps all the way around the back, comes up, loops over the spine, and then actually ends right here at where almost like the hairline, where your forehead meets your hairline. That is the entire back body. So with those 2 concepts in mind, I really want you to key into the awareness of the full front and the full back as we go through the various postures today. Obviously, the other sides are the lateral body. We'll just go ahead and take a stretch there just to make sure we feel that and demonstrate it. Let's bring the hands up. I'm actually connecting my palms, just gently bringing the palms together. And then we can arch over one direction and feel all the way from the outside of the ankle now, not just under the arm, not just the ribs, not just the shoulders, but all the way from the outside of that foot, up through the hip, over the ribs, over the shoulder, and out through the fingers. And then lift up. Let's feel that on the other side. So awareness starts down at the foot, energy traveling up through the side of the shin, the knee, the hip, the ribs, under the arms, the elbow, and finally out through the fingers. So it's a full body experience. Inhale, bring yourself back up, and hands down. All right, so working with those concepts today, just a little different idea to bring more awareness and clarity about your body as we move through practice. All right, so let's begin. Come on down to hands and knees. We're going to start to warm up a little bit as we normally would. Come into tabletop position. Let's just take a couple of cat-cows to make sure our back, we stretched it pretty nicely, but just take a couple of cat-cows on your own. Just find a little flexion and extension, but keep the idea of the entire front body and entire back body in mind, instead of just keying in to one area at a time. I'm not going to say it throughout the entire practice, but I just want you to really see if that makes sense to you and bring some new awareness. All right, come back to a neutral spine. And let's stretch the right foot out. Bring that right foot up. Press through the right heel. And then we're going to lift the left arm out. So we're coming into a nice stretched out bird dog position. Crown of the head reaches forward. And then go ahead and take one breath in. Keep reaching and extending. And then as you breathe out, exhale. Bring the fist to your chest. Bring your knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. One more, extend. And then bring the knee and the hand down. Take one round of cat-cow. Inhale, cow, Exhale, cat. Inhale, come back to neutral, extend the left leg out. Lift that left foot up, flex through the heel, really extend. We stay here for a couple of breaths, just feeling the full extension of the body. Back body here, feeling that extension. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, draw your fist and your knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. One more extension. And then bring everything down. Press back to child's pose. One full breath here. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up to hands and knees, all fours. And then lower down to your belly. Come down into a prone position. Press your hands down underneath your shoulders. Elbows are tight to the body. Now we're going to open that front body as we lift up to a cobra. So your heart's reaching forward, but think about those lines starting all the way from the tops of your feet up until they reach your throat, just under your jaw. Beautiful. And exhale, let everything come down. Inhale, press yourself up, and one more time back to child's pose. All right, from here, we're going to come on up to hands and knees and bring our legs down. We're going to sit down on the mat, bring our legs out in front. So have a blanket handy. I'm going to say just fold up a blanket about this size and have it, or it could be bigger, and have it next to your left hip. We're going to go up on our knee here in just a minute, so I want us to have a little bit of padding for the knee. But first we're going to start off in Dandasana, staff pose. So thinking about opening up the body. Which area of the body are we likely to be opening as we sit in Dandasana? Well, really we're kind of neutral, but we're more opening the back body, aren't we? Because we're feeling it in the hamstrings. If our feet are flexed, we're feeling it all the way from the plantar up through the back body and bringing that energy up through the crown of the head. Now we're going to find it even more if we lift our arms up. Take a breath in and then fold forward, reaching the hands toward our feet. So now this is the seated version of a forward fold when we're standing, but we have that deep, deep opening. You can feel it when you really think in a more holistic manner. You can feel everything connected from the arches of the feet all the way around to the tops of the head. Breathe here and just feel that deep opening, releasing, stretching. And then inhale, let's slide back up to a seated position. We're going to take the left knee out to the left, bring the left foot to the inner right thigh. We'll take one stretch in Janusarasana, so lift the arms up with that left leg externally rotated. Let's reach forward. Once again, feeling that stretch all the way down the right leg. Head to knee pose. And then inhale, come back up. Take the left hand to the outside of the left hip. Let's come up on that knee. So now your knee is on the blanket. Lift the arm up, come to Stargazer, reaching the right fingers up. And now we're going to take our first lateral stretch as we take the right arm over the ear. Palms down. Your neck is a nice long extension of the spine, so don't let it drop down. Keep your spine nice and strong. Press down through the outside of the right ankle. skin line traveling all the way up and down the body. All right, from Stargazer, we're going to take the hand to the waist instead of up in the air, and then you're going to lift yourself up, reach the left arm up, and come into gate pose. So left arm is now reaching across the body, and even though our foot is not down, we're still feeling it from the outside of the left knee, up and through the left fingers. Nice deep breath here. And then we're just going to unwind everything we just did. So bring the left arm back down to the floor. Lift one more time into Stargazer. Right arm reaches over the ear. On your next breath, come on down. Come back to your seat. Inhale, arms up, reach overhead. Exhale, Janastirsasana. Nice slow movements today. Inhale, come back up to your seated position. Bring your left leg and extend it down the mat. One more time in Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold forward. I just love moving slow and feeling all of these beautiful connection points. So much magic occurs when we pay attention. Inhale, come back up. Take your right foot into the inner left thigh. We'll forward fold once again, this time with the right knee externally rotated. And then fold forward, Janastirsasana on the other side. Feel that Achilles. Flex your foot and you'll really feel that whole back body come alive. Inhale, come back up. Grab that blanket from the other side. Let's bring it over so that it's underneath the right knee now. Take your right hand to the outside of your hip, lift up, come into Stargazer on this side, first reaching fingers straight up and down. And then we'll connect laterally by bringing the arm over the ear. Press down through the outside of the left ankle. Slightly gaze upward. You'll probably feel a little bit more stretch. Make sure you're not dipping forward. And then from here, let's take that left hand, bring it to your waist, and then just push yourself up with a little core strength. Lift the right arm up, come right into gate pose. Oh, a little pop in my back. I don't know if you felt that on yours. Right side body, getting that beautiful opening. And then we're just going to unwind everything we just did. Right hand comes back down to the mat, left arm comes back over. And then come back to your seat. We'll take one more stretch in Janastirsasana. Fold forward. Inhale, extend both legs. One more, Paschimottanasana. Forward fold. Reach for your shins, ankles, or feet. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths, deeply opening the back body. If you can reach your feet and you can grasp them, that's fine. If you can't, reach for your shins. Just be mindful. Flex through your feet. Feel what you're creating in your body. All right, inhale, come on back up. We're going to take that blanket and kind of make sure that's out of the way. And from here, we're just going to roll all the way down. We're going to take a nice long morning stretch. So this time we're going to open more or less the front part of the body. A nice counter to what we just did with the back body. Big morning stretch, toes and fingers all the way away from each other. And then bring your hands up. See if you can come to a full sit-up without any assistance. A little core work there. And then we're going to bring the feet up onto the mat. Bend your knees, come forward, and we're going to come up on the toes. So now we're going to do a little bit of toe work. We haven't done a whole lot with the feet just yet. I'm going to move back so you can see me a little bit better. So a lot of times we come right into a toe balance here, and I have us do a toe balance. But for this, actually, I want us to see if we can come forward and bring the knees down, leaving the toes curled under. Now, this is where it can get a little dicey for some of us if you have tight feet, a tight plantar, or any pain in the toe joints. So be very careful here and make sure you're not in any pain. So you're sitting on your toes, and you can keep your hands forward. You can keep all your weight on those blocks to help give yourself a little bit of relief. But as you feel ready, you can start to straighten the body up, and then see if you can go ahead and sit back directly on top of your toes. So importantly, make sure that your heels are directly underneath your sits bones. So you don't want them pushing out or in, but the feet should directly align underneath your sits bones. So just getting, this is a really great stretch for the plantar. Anybody that's had plantar fasciitis knows that that's a very painful situation, and it's caused by the tight fascia in the foot. So this is a great stretch for the bottom of the feet. All right, take one more breath here. And then we're going to come forward. And here's where you're going to use that blanket again, possibly. I want you to uncurl your toes. So bring the feet flat down on the mat. Now, if you can sit all the way back on your heels in a thunderbolt or a thunderbolt pose, then that's great. Many of us cannot. So what you're going to do is take that blanket, create a nice little flat blanket roll, bring that right under on the tops of your calves, and then take a block and just slide the skinny side of the block in between your feet. And that's going to help give you a little bit of relief. You can also still pitch forward. You don't have to sit all the way back. But I want your feet to be flat down on the mat. So now we're just counteracting what we did with the plantar stretch. So you can stay here with your body weight forward, or if you feel okay, you can come on and sit all the way up, really getting that front part of the ankle nice and stretched out. Breathe here. And we're not going to take it back any further today, but if you have the flexibility and it feels all right, you can also start to go back into a reclined version of Hero's Pose, which is going to give you even more opening in that front body. But we're going to keep it a little bit more gentle today. All right, so take a couple more breaths here. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking today, so I do want to give you some peace and calm. One more breath. And then come on forward. Release the blanket if you were using that. Bring your block around to the front. All right. So let's move just a little bit. Get a little bit of movement in the full body. We're going to curl the toes under to start. Lift the knees up. Let's come into a downward facing dog. Press your thighs toward the back of the mat. Lift your hips high. Again, I'm not going to give you a whole lot of individual cues. I want you to think about the entire body. And as you come into downward facing dog, we did a lot of stretches with the feet, but pedal your feet just a couple of times and feel the sensation coming up all the way from the arch of the foot. As it travels up the body, and again, this is another open back body posture. Nice breath carries that energy all the way up and down. from downward facing dog, come on forward to plank. And we're going to open the front body by lowering down onto our thighs. Uncurl the toes. Feet are flat. Press up into a nice cobra. If it's in your practice and you want to take a full up dog, that is an even more expansive opening for the front body. And then lower down. Back to the belly. We're going to take the arms out front. So reach your arms out front. Move this block so you can see. And again, tops of the feet are pressing down to begin. We're going to lift the feet off the mat though. So now we're opening the superficial front line, beginning with the tops of the feet. See if you can lift your shins, maybe even your thighs. Press down through your pubic bone to help anchor your body and ground in the middle. Now this is a half Salambhasana or locust pose with arms out front. From here, let's take a little break. Let's bring the feet down just for a second. Take a breath. And then we'll inhale. We'll lift the lower part of the body back up again. Find your balance from the lower part lifted, and then we'll lift the hands up, and you're going to reach forward with those fingers, just like a Superman pose, flying through the air. Beautiful front body opening here in Viparita Salabhasana. Exhale, woo, let it all down. It's hard to be Superman. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up. Let's take a nice counter stretch in child's pose. Tailbone reaching down, lower back just releases. All right, come on up to hands and knees. Lift back up to downward facing dog once again. From downward facing dog, take the right foot forward to a low runner's lunge. Left foot forward, forward fold. Where are you feeling the opening now? Inhale, lift your arms up, reach them overhead. Palms come together in upward prayer, and then exhale. Lift and open expansively in the front body. Back bend. Bring your arms straight back overhead. Let's take the side crescent over to the left. Side body opening. Inhale, bring your hands back up. Take that bend over to the right. Inhale, upward facing hands, and exhale, forward fold. Oh, the entire back line now really open and expansive. From this forward fold position, let's step back with the left foot. Plant your heel down, bend your right knee, and lift up to warrior two. Hands now reaching in opposition. Take a breath, feel your strong warrior. Root down through the outside of that left foot. And then we're going to take some side stretches in warrior by dropping the left hand down on the thigh, reach the right arm up for exalted warrior. Beautiful. Stretch. And then we're going to counter that by bringing the right forearm on top of the right thigh. Left arm up. A modified side angle. Inhale, come right back up to exalted warrior. And then back to side angle. And one more time through, exalted warrior. And back to side angle. Go ahead and bring that left hand down to the mat or block. Come back into your low runner's lunge. Slide the right foot back, press back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to the front of the mat. Forward fold, let the head just drop down. Feel the energy rising up all the way from the arches, around the back body and down your crown of your head. Inhale, slowly rise all the way up. Lift up for the opposite stretch, upward prayer, a slight back bend. And then exhale once again, forward fold. Step the right foot back to a low lunge as we prepare for warrior two on the other side. Lift up, open your body. Find your strength in warrior today. Find the beautiful lines of energy flowing from fingertip to fingertip, right through the center of your body. And then let's start those stretches. Right hand to the right thigh, lift your left arm up, exalted warrior, find the stretch. And then exhale, bring your left hand to the top of your thigh, reach that right arm over, right fingers to right ankle, side angle. Inhale, come back to exalted. Exhale to side angle. And one more time through. Inhale, rise to exalted. And exhale, side angle once again. From side angle, take your right hand down to the mat. Slide your left foot back, press back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to bring the right foot forward. Come once again to low runner's lunge to begin. Stay on the ball of the foot on the left side if you can. Lift up, one more beautiful front body opening in high crescent. Take the back bend as you wish. Find your stability, but feel that energy coming all the way up the front, right up underneath your jaw. Beautiful. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Slide your right foot back, downward facing dog. Left foot comes forward, low lunge. Preparing for high crescent, lift yourself up. Find your stability once again. Lovely front body opening. I just love feeling everything working together, expanding. Beautiful. Bring those hands back down to the mat. Left foot comes back, downward facing dog. Bring your knees down to the mat. Press back to a sweet child's pose. 3 full breaths here. Forward, come down to your seat, swing your legs around, and we're going to roll all the way down. I'm going to have you take your strap now, and that might be a little tricky. Let me see if I can. We're going to make a loop with your strap. So hopefully you have an actual yoga strap and you can make a loop through the D-ring. Basically, We're going to bring that strap around our legs and then bring it up underneath the hips. Okay? So, I actually didn't practice this ahead of time, so give me just a second to make sure I'm telling you exactly the right way. I know I want this to be a nice, big, long strap. We want to, it's going to have to be longer than that. Hopefully you have a long one and this will work. So probably make this as long as you possibly can, or as wide a loop as you can. Mine's all the way to the end of the strap. And make sure you're not laying on the D-ring. But we're going to bring the balls of the feet up on that strap. And then basically you just want to tighten the strap so that you can release your legs straight up and down. But your body is holding the strap in place. You may have to play with this for just a second, so take your time. When you get it and it's right, it'll be nice. If this doesn't work for you or you don't have the right strap, just take a waterfall pose for a minute or two. But basically, when you have that strap in place, you can release the legs and let them come forward. Bring your hands down by your side, and the tension on the strap will hold everything in place. I make mine just a little bit tighter, I think. All right. See if you can just relax your legs. Let the strap hold them in place. Now I want you to think about that superficial back line opening up from behind the backs of the toes, through the plantar, down the legs, around the back, and then up over the crown of the head. Take 5 more breaths here. This is another nice way to experience Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall, if you don't have a wall, but you happen to have a strap. All right, 3 more breaths. Start to bend your knees, bring your hands on the strap so you can release it down. You can bring it out from underneath. Go ahead and extend your legs all the way down. Slide your heels. Bring your feet together and slide your heels over to the right corner of your mat. Bring your arms overhead. They can either be parallel or in a V. And then just scoot your shoulders over to the right corner as well. We're coming into Banana Asana. Nice passive lateral body stretch. And we bring our body into the shape of a banana. Since we're passive and we're at ease, I want you to be mindful about your breath. And think about the breath opening the body all the way from the outside of the left ankle, traveling up over the ribs and out the left fingertips. Flowing freely and smoothly. Our shoulders back to the center of the mat. Slide your feet back to center. Keep your feet together, but bring them over to the left corner. Bring your shoulders over to the left corner, and we'll start that again. How you've opened the body today as a unit, as a full structure, three-dimensional. Allowing space. Helping all those fibrous tissues to do their job. Bring your shoulders back to center. Bring your hands down. Slide your feet back to center. And we will finish with a few minutes of Shavasana. Again, front body may be slightly more open than back body, but basically in a nice neutral structure. And as you're lying here, I have one more thing to share with you. Just food for thought about the type of practice that we did today. This is a quote from yogi and longtime yogi and guru Eric Schiffman. Stiff and tight areas of your body inhibit the free circulation of energy and thereby strangle your internal supply of nourishment. These are the areas where you experience pain or discomfort to one degree or another. They are undernourished, crying for help. When clenched tightly this way, they remain separate, constricted, unrelated to the whole. As they open, they begin to receive the nourishment once again. Physical discomfort and pain will disappear as healing occurs. When you restore lost movement to these tight areas of yourself, you rejuvenate them, bringing life to more of yourself. As you open the physical meridians in the body, enlivening these energy channels, you're able to embrace life more completely. Body, mind, and spirit are all connected through these energy lines. Become aware of them in your practice, and you will be inviting space for transformation. All right, begin to invite a deeper breath back into your body. Wake up your fingers and toes. And if you feel like it, you can take a full body stretch. Once again, beautiful morning stretch from toes to fingers. Opening and feeling the transformation that you have helped to bring about today. As you're ready, invite yourself to help yourself up to a seat. Take a moment, just place your hands on your lap, close your eyes. Just notice what you feel. Is there a sense of aliveness there that didn't exist before your practice? Let's raise your arms out to the side, lift them overhead, reach and extend. Breath in, connect your palms, and then bring them down to the heart center. The light in me is honored and grateful for the light within you all. Thank you so much for practicing today. Om Shanti and Namaste.